Labor costs are one key element in terms of the total cost of our product, and the new labor laws that went into effect in January of this year have had a big impact. Some people say it has as much as 30% increase in the cost of labor impact. So that is an important element, but at the same time, in addition to that, what's happened in our industry, the toy industry, that's had a huge impact is material costs have really skyrocketed. The VAT rebate has been reduced and it most likely will continue to be reduced. And then the appreciation of the RMB. And those factors combined have had a really significant impact in terms of total product cost. And that's an issue that everybody in our industry is trying to find a creative and successful way to address, and there are no real clear-cut answers. China at the moment, and for the foreseeable near future, is still probably the most viable source of supply for our industry. But everyone is starting to look and to see if there are other options. And probably more people, if they haven't already or had not in the past, are looking to diversify in terms of their source of supply geographically. Yeah, in the toy industry, probably the name that comes up most often is Vietnam. India is also a potential option, but since most of the toy industry is currently headquartered in China, 80% of all toys are sourced in China, most likely the logical next step would be somewhere in Southeast Asia. So Vietnam is seriously being considered by many people, and then Malaysia, Indonesia potentially. But what most of the toy manufacturers in China are doing, some are moving to those locations, but many are moving further inland, especially in the Pearl River Delta, going further north and west in Dongguan. Much of the total toy volume is shipped on an FOB China basis, so our customers actually handle the freight and pay for the freight. And if your product happens to be of a larger cube and transportation costs are a bigger issue, many of our retail customers who handle the transportation are reluctant or resistant to paying the additional cost of the further inland transportation. We're a US-based company and we're headquartered in Chicago, and finding great people in Chicago is a challenge. In China, the same is true. What we've worked on very diligently is to create a great selection process for our company. So the way we go about selecting people in the U.S. is the same as the way we do it in China. Probably the biggest challenge we have in China, being a small to mid-sized company, is finding a manager, and not only a manager, but more skilled staff members who have kind of cross-functional ability, where they're not just many have worked in very large organizations or in organizations where they're very narrowly focused in terms of their responsibilities and their knowledge. And so we need people because we're smaller, who are more cross-functional, have more diverse skills, that have leadership ability, and that have good problem-solving skills. And that's the challenge. And we have not found a way to solve that problem other than a good selection process, and then helping our people build the team. So you bring in a great person, and then they help you find other great people.